Hey, it's your boy, Sergeant Hooked and Hedgens. So today we are finally doing my part 2 of my final thoughts and my final score on Kikai Sentai Zenkaiger as a series. This will probably go in the Zenkaiger playlist, so once you've watched the other episode reviews, this will be the final one. Sorry, the other episode reviews. I have like a goofy head cold allergy situation going on, so if I sound goofy, I apologize in advance. So if you remember in part 1, we mainly focused on the storyline and the characters. The focus that the characters got, the storylines that they, had throughout the show, villains, all of that. So this time we're going to be more focusing on the music, the aesthetics, that includes like suit designs, weapon designs, sound design, stuff like that, the mecha, and then getting into like maybe my own personal favorite things, favorite moments, whatever, and also my final thoughts and my score, which might surprise you. This show, I will say, spoil a little bit, is still in my top 5 Sentai, personally, but you might still be surprised by the score. So, like I said last time, so we talked about most of the characters and everything. There's, of course, a ton of standout episodes with these characters, and they all get some really good characterization. I still feel as though Kaito, Zax, Juran, and Stacy get the most characterization, and everybody else is kind of underneath that. But anyway, so moving forward with the aesthetics. I was really impressed with the suit design in the show. I didn't know what to expect when the first rumors and Grains of Salt started coming out that there were going to be 4 robots as the part of the team. I wasn't sure what to expect. I'd recently watched Q Ranger, so I was ready. I already was ready for something weird, because Sentai cannot out-weird me. Like, the goofier, the weirder, the better, to my opinion. And so I was already prepared somewhat, because, we had Champ on the team who was a robot, and Raptor who was a robot. So, like, I already kind of knew maybe what they were going for, but just in general, like, trying to prepare myself. And I still really like the designs. I think that their normal Zenkai, like, their Kikanoid forms are cool. They have some really nice design influences. Case in point, Juran has elements representing Geki, I think, from Zenkaiger. I've not watched it, but I know of it clearly being Mighty Morphin and all that. So I like that. And the others, I think Gawan has some things that represent Gao Ranger, but I don't know if the others have a ton that are representing their respective seasons. But in their Zenkaiger forms, it all changes. Or their Zenkai forms. Zenkai Juran, of course, resembling the what's it called? The Mighty Morphin, Dinozord, Dino Megazord / Daizujin from Z-Ranger. Gawan representing Gao Ranger, and their Mecha, I don't remember what that was called, the Wild Pride Megazord and Wild Force, whatever it's called. Anyway, clearly, Majin representing Maji Ranger. Both a little bit of the Red Ranger kind of, but also their mecha a little bit too, with the face and the little hair piece and everything. And then Vroon being the representative for Bokenger. I think they all did a good job of representing those teams. And were designed very well. And they also were more mobile than I thought they were going to be. For the most part. Vroon is intended as a bulkier, heavy hitter type of character, so it didn't bother me that he was a little bulkier and slower moving, and it kind of lended to some really good comedy moments, especially with his whole thing where he could separate and stuff. I thought that was cool, and like each one had their own like specialty, which I thought was cool. Juran mainly fighting with like a sword and shield, which is reminiscent, of course, of Daizujin. Gawan mainly fighting with his claws and with the like actual claw weapons. Majin actually getting upgraded to full-on magic past her fortune telling and using that with her scepter. So I really like that. And Zenkaiger's suit, if I've not talked about before, one of the very best, most vibrant Toku suits, and one of my favorites in all of Toku. Like, my number 1 is clearly Max Ryuso Red, but number 2 or 3 might be Zenkaiger. I also really like the mecha designs, and we'll get there in a minute. But still going on normal suits, like Ranger suits. Two Kaijers is really good too. I like that it's Gokaiger inspired, but also that helmet still does the aesthetic the rest of the team does, where the helmet is reminiscent of a Zord, of like a Megazord or a Mecha. So his representative of Gokaio from Gokaiger, of course. I like that. I think that's really cool, and I think it really lends a lot of originality to his suit, where he looks like he'd fit in with the team, but he's also different enough, especially when you get into his Shinken and Orin forms that take that same aesthetic and kind of swap it around with different pieces to represent each side. The Oranger representation or the Shinkenger representation. Even so far as the Shinkenger representation using the Samurai Sentai Shinkenger theme in it, which I thought was really cool. So, I'm trying to think now. His suit's really great. I do really like Super 2 Kaiser and Super Zenkaiser. I think I like Super Zenkaiser's a little bit more just because I like that it's like this grafted on armor type of thing. He kind of looks like he's just like cosplaying sort of, but in his suit, which is funny. But I really like that. And I really do enjoy Super 2 Kaiser, just not as much personally. I don't hate Time Ranger or Time Force, but I just think that the aesthetics of Burai or Dragon Ranger's first, being the first sixth mecha. If you didn't know that, Z-Ranger is the first season to have a sixth Ranger. But anyway, that mecha being represented within Zenkaiser's suit with somebody who already is representative of the first Ranger is really cool. So I feel like 2 Kaisers, unless there's something I'm missing, maybe there is, and I'm probably going to get called out for it in the comments or people online, whatever. But I don't know if there's anything too crazy big about Zox, Super 2 Kaiser being, what is it, the Quantum Source or whatever it's called in Time Rangers mecha. There probably is. So from there, first where we get to mecha, the changers are also really cool. I love the Gertlinger. It's such a cool thing. I love that when you crank it, the music starts to it's reminiscent of the Go Ranger theme. That bum 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 bum. So I like that. And I really like the look of all the Sentai gears. Look really nice. How they're representative of one side being the Ranger side and the other side being the Kikai side or whatever, like the team symbol or whatever. I do apologize. Oh my goodness. And so that's really good. I also really like the Girdlinger in that it works similar, but it's also very different. It still has the aesthetic of being like having red to it and having the little like label on the side that says Girdlinger, like a dollar store toy. But it just works a lot differently, especially with the music that's utilized within it to transform, which we were shown he doesn't have to dance to transform. Really fun gag in the show. Clearly I talked about the separate gears he gets, the Oren and Shinken gears that he has that separate forms for his, for him to transform into. It's really like that, and the whole sword that can come out of it, he can, pull out a sword to fight with is really awesome. I love the Zenkaiger gear. I love that it hops around, and that Flint made 2 of them so that they can both use it simultaneously. I always find it annoying in like X-Aid when Hero and what's his name, Taiga had to like share that gas shad. That was weird to me. Eventually they didn't, but it took a while. So I'm trying to think. That's really good. The Zenroku Zenkai Cannon. This is like my favorite all-time weapon ever in Toku. I just love it. I'm really sorry they don't have a lot of visuals with this. I'm just trying to get my thoughts out. I do plan on eventually getting some better like editing expertise to where I'll actually be able to like have visuals up to talk about what I'm talking about. But the Zenroku Zenkai Cannon is so cool. I love the concept behind it. It's like the apex of Isao and what's her name? And the mom's research, of the Goshikita's research. And then it lets him summon, just like Stay Caesar can do, phantom, basically, rangers that can go out and fight or whatever. I think that's really cool. And I love the final attack with it. All the red ranger helmets going together until it finally forms Zenkaizers, and it blasting and smashing the enemy and throwing them off the cliff into the Toei Ocean. Like the Toei Ocean behind the Toei logo that always is behind it when they play like any of the V cinemas or whatever. That was genius, and they do it every time, and I love it every time. My phone actually, if I start typing Zenryoku Zenkai Cannon, it'll eventually start trying to autocomplete send you into the Toei Ocean, bitch. I just love it. I love the design of it. I love how it makes. Eventually, this segues into the mecha, into Zenryoku Zenkaio, with Zenkai Eagle, with his own, meaning he has his own mecha finally, Zenkaiser. Yeah, so as far as the mecha, I really like all of the designs. I think they're very simple, but they work. I love that we have two main combinations for Zenkaiyo. So we have Zenkaiyo Juragamon and Zenkaiyo Rumajin. They can swap the pieces. We've seen a few times, but it doesn't happen a lot. But I did like that. I thought that was really cool. I thought they were really well designed. The DX things, for what I've seen of them, don't look the best, but the metal versions of them look better, I guess. Tukayo was really cool too. The Tukayo Riki or Tukayo Katanar mecha, where he can swap between his two brothers in terms of, you know, what form he wants to take. It was really cool. I really like that. I do wish there was a combined form that had both of them together. That was kind of a missed opportunity in my opinion, but Zenkaijuo is good. I just wish it had a actual robot form rather than just the like rampaging dinosaur form that it has, where it's like combined Dragon Caesar and the Time Fires robot, whatever it's called. I don't know. I've not watched Time Ranger. I think I'd be better prepared for this. Anyway, so that was really good. And I don't know. I just wish it had a mecha form. I mean, we get to sometimes see giant, you know, Super 2 guys or Super Zenkaiser, so that's cool. But yeah, you know, like I wish it just, I don't know. I wish I had a robot form. Zenryuko Zenkaiyo, I really like. A lot of people didn't because it was the first time I'm seeing fully CG for a mecha being used, you know, a lot. And I liked it. I think it was a little janky sometimes, but I still think it was a nice design. And I like how there's like the portrait of each member on the team that he like talks to, you know, to like get, you know, ideas for the battle or like, you know, commands and whatever. And I like that it can still like summon like attacks representing the mecha and stuff like that, especially the final attack being all the mecha coming together to just bum rush the enemy is really cool. So I really like that. I like how it combines together, and I like that the little thing splits right here and it's a 45 on its head, just like Zenkaiser. Is really awesome. Look at that. It's really well designed. I really do enjoy it. Overall, the music and the sound design are great. I love the sounds we get from the changers. I love the sounds we get in terms of you know, combination Gatai stuff. The music is really great, very reminiscent of Go Ranger, having a lot of like 70s funk in it and other kind of different things. I guess Chume Watanabe or whatever his name is, the original composer of Go Ranger, came back for this season to help compose music, so that was really cool. But yeah, the music is really great. I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. There's not a day that goes by I don't listen to the Zenkaiger theme song, honestly. It gets you pumped up. It makes you excited. I'm trying to think of some other stuff I can talk about with aesthetics. Yeah, so overall, I really enjoyed the show. There were a few qualms, or a few little negatives I want to talk about before I get my final thoughts and my score. We're getting there, I promise. One thing, not really a negative, more a missed opportunity. I never understood why we never saw Zenkaiger flipped to its like team logo side and put into the Geartlinger and what that would have done. We see it once in the episode where they fight Stacey's robot or whatever. No, the other like summoned robos when they try to go bigger than just being giant already, and it just makes the, you know, Zenkai Bazooka come down, which is a giant Geartlinger or whatever. That was cool, but we don't ever see anything with that again. So I guess it just powers up the Zenkai Bazooka that they never used really again after that. So I thought that was odd. Not that I wanted it to like summon the mecha or anything, but it's just weird that it had the other side. So why didn't they flip it just like they would flip their Kikanoid, you know, to their other side of their own change gears? Also, the other thing too, with as creative as the show was, and as interesting as it was overall, and how unique it was, and how it had like an answer for almost everything, we never got an answer as to why. Like, I find it odd that the Kikonoid members each represent a certain team in Sentai, right? When they transform even more so, like the mecha they represent. But we never got a reason as to why. Like, did Isao and the mom know those Kikanoids? Or did they somehow predict they would get the powers? How would they have done that? Because, like in the first episode, Kaito was trying to get Grandma to join. So, like, would those powers have worked if they weren't Kikanoids? You know? So I feel like they could have explained that a little bit. Maybe something even as simple as, like, all the team members that are Kikanoids don't remember a ton of their childhood or something like that, and to come to find out they were built by either A, the Toji Tendo, or B, by Isao, and then given some false memories to kind of like, push them in life or whatever. I guess it would add like a darker tinge to things, but it just funny to me that it worked out that the Zyuranger inspired person got the Zyuranger inspired gear. It literally says 16 on it. The Maji Ranger one got the Maji Ranger one. Bokendra got right. You know what I mean? Like, it was a little too perfect. Like, I liked it. I'm fine. And you just got to turn your brain off on certain things, and that's okay. But I feel like with the show as creative as Zenkaiger, there could have been some explanation as to how those specific Kikanoids were chosen and not humans. We see in the Zenkai Red special, humans can't even transform with it. They try to when they're humanized forms, and they can't. Because I don't get it. I don't get it. One quick thing, back to sound just real quick. Voice acting in the show, top notch. Top notch. All the actors bring their A game and do an amazing job. It's not their fault that some of the characters get more or less story than the others, but still, they do a great job. So that was one thing, those two things. The Sentai gear thing, like flipping it around the team logo, what does that do other than the Bioman one or whatever they used in the fight against the evil summoned robos? And also how they specifically, like those specific people which they didn't know were going to get their Gatlingers transform, got those specific gears that exactly match them, other than just being shut your mouth and turn your brain off and watch the show. And one thing I was going to say until just recently when it was shown in the G. Rosso stage show that Flint finally gets transformed, seeing her transform in the show. I'm glad it got in the G. Rosso thing. Maybe she'll show up in like, whatever crossover we get with Dom Brothers transformed, but I feel like she deserved it, And also, like, a couple, like, dropped things. Like, they kind of drop even caring about where the mom is for a while, and then they eventually get the dad back, and he goes to find her, but we never find out how until the very last episode. It was like a line or two. And that was kind of weird to me. Another thing, too, is that the Kami-sama, like, god character, who is he? What are they? What are they doing? Where did they come from? If there would have been some hints before, like, episode 38 or something like that, whatever it was, when near the end where they were like all of a sudden this god character was doing stuff, that would have been different. If there's like little hints throughout that something else was in control, totally fine. They also almost make you think that Gege was the like true mastermind behind things, and really find out he wasn't. And I think that would have been really interesting to see this like little like underling evil little bird guy be the one that's truly like the puppeteer behind the scenes, and they didn't do much with that. I guess it's interesting what they do with the whole thing where he like beats him at rock paper scissors. God, I don't know, I want to misgender God, I guess. And like beats God at like rock paper scissors, I guess. But like, and it's very Zenkaiger for it to happen that way. But like all of a sudden that just teaches God to just not want to screw up worlds and keep them separate and let them commingle. I don't know. There's some parts of the finale are just a little kind of esoteric and odd how they put things together. I don't think Coben had much to do with it. I do think that maybe including Stacer and slash Stacy in it as much as they did, maybe how popular he got kind of took some time away from filling out some other plot lines as much as they wanted to or something. I don't know. But again, just like a missed opportunity thing. But overall, I'll get my final thoughts here. I really love this show. It's really, really great at what it tries to do. It's a very unique take on Sentai, a very unique take on Sentai anniversary seasons. I mean, we only have 2 now, but still. Other ones have elements, but whatever. Bokendra. And Gokaiger, clearly. So I think it does well in those 2 regards. Being a great, awesome, interesting, unique Sentai season, and also being a Sentai anniversary season. Does great with that. I think a majority of the characters get a lot of time to shine, while a few others are kind of shelved a little bit, which kind of bothered me. One in particular, Vroon, I feel like didn't really have much of a character arc other than the first episode where he just wanted people to know that he had a name and be noticed, and then that was it. Like, all this thing is just ever learning knowledge. I don't hate him, and don't kill me, Vaughn, Mr. Cooper, but I wanted more for him because I really liked Vroon, but they didn't really give him much to work with. Similar things can be said with Gawan to an extent, where he finally learns to not be a robo-racist, and that's cool, but it, also resolves pretty quickly. It was starting to get annoying anyway, but still, there's more that I think they could have tested with that and done with that to, like, kind of extend things out a little bit. Majin does alright, but like I said, overall the season is a lot of fun. Does it have a few like nitpicky things here and there, and a few things I wasn't happy with? Well, yeah. But I think overall it's still a lot of fun, and you just gotta kind of watch it and have a good time with it, and not think about it too hard. Is it the most coherent, well put together, amazing, perfect story? Nope. But no Sentai season has a perfect story. Overall, it's gonna surprise you guys. Overall, I'm probably going to place it somewhere in the 8.5 out of 10 range. I know you think I would give it a straight 10 out of 10 or a 9, but after thinking about it and after stewing on it now that it's been done and now that I'm watching Dawn Brothers that's premiering, I do really still enjoy it. There's just a few issues here and there. Maybe some of those things might be resolved with like a V-Cinema or like, you know, a follow-up crossover with Dawn Brothers. I don't know. We'll see. I know we're getting the Zenkaiger versus Zenkaiger thing that might, you know, fix a few things here and there. I don't know. But it still is a really good show. It's got a lot of heart. It's funny as hell. Absolutely. There are times I had to pause the episode and just like nearly piss myself laugh because of the goofy shit that I was seeing. So if you have a chance to watch it by whatever means you can, you go ahead and definitely check it out. But yes, that's my final thoughts on Zenkaiger Part 2. That wasn't so painful, was it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What did you guys think of the review? Did you guys agree with me? Did you have different ways of thinking? Did you like certain characters I didn't? I know one of my people I follow on Twitter, Thomas Jujubee, loves Majin. I think she's a decent character. I just feel like her and Vroon kind of get the short end of the stick in storylines and compared to everybody else. But that's just me. Doesn't make her a bad person. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review today. Let me know in the comments what you think below. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. Coming up pretty soon, we'll get some Toku Toy reviews out there for the Forza driver I just got, the Legend Series Makeover one. And try to think. Oh, my Demons driver, I'm going to be hopefully having that today. And then my Down Blaster should be tomorrow, I think, by the time I'm recording this. But yeah, so that's definitely some content coming up pretty soon. But anyways, until next time, stay hooked on Henshin's. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye!